Today I'm going to show you how I made this lovely ruby and Kumihimo necklace. So I'm going to put that to one side and bring in my Kumihimo board. So what we need is some S-lon 0.5 size 11 seed beads. These are 4mm rubies, they're beautiful, and a little Kumihimo disc. Now I like to use the smaller ones because I find them easier to handle, but obviously you can use whichever suits you. So we'll clear away the S-lon for now. I've got 4 strands of S-lon. Now the rule of thumb for Kumihimo is that the length of cord you need is between 3 and 4 times the length of your finished piece. Now with something like this, I don't want to get right up to halfway up the second half and find out I haven't got enough cord. So I like to err on the side of caution, and I rather use a lot than a little, shall we say. So we start off, we need 8 pieces of cord. So I've cut 4 lengths here. Now the length of what I've got here is quite immaterial because it's just for demo purposes. So let's have a look. So we're going to fold those in half, and at the top here just tie an overhand knot. Now there'll be some of you who've done Kumihimo before and have got weights and bobbins and all sorts of things. Now I've just made a loop and done an overhand knot. So if you wanted to use a weight, which I don't because I'm on a table, you can hook it onto there. If you don't have a weight and you wanted to weight it down, you could use a bag of beads and tie it on. So anything which will do the job really. So we're going to pop that knot through the centre of there. Now I've marked the jewellery maker discs come with north, south, east and west. We're going to ignore all the numbers today, so that's of no relevance to us whatsoever. So what we want to do is split up the 8 braids, and we want to put 1 each side of the north, 1 each side of the east, same for the south, right, which one shall we choose? It doesn't really matter. Oh dear, 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 being far too fussy here. So we'll put that on the south, that one on the south. It's playing hard to get that one. And then we'll turn, and the last one is the west. So we're left with 2 braids, and we put one either side of the west. Now, how I quite like to do it, and this is how I did my necklace in actual fact, is to just hold the knot in the centre. That's what I use for my tension. It's what I use to keep it straight on the board, and it alleviates me needing to put a weight on. Now, the way I start is that I take the bottom left and I put it onto the top left. This is a new board, so let me make sure that that's in there. Get the tension. Need to just make sure it's right for starting off, and then it'll all fall into place. And then the top right to the bottom right. I then turn my board to the west or to the next point, whichever way you've started, excuse me, and I do exactly the same again. I take the bottom left, put it up to the top left. I take the top right, put it down to the top right. Bottom left, top right. and it's very relaxing. Bottom left, top right. And you continue in this vein until you have the length you want. As I say, this is just starting out, so I'll just do a couple more rounds just so that you can see what I'm doing. So it's bottom left, top right, bottom right, bottom left, top left, sorry, top right, bottom right. So that's the way we start, that's the way we continue right the way through the necklace until you'll find you've got a little braid starting here. Probably can't see anything quite yet because we've only done a few rounds, but you'll start to see the braid coming through. What we want to do once we reach the length of half the necklace, because we're going to do, well, almost half, we're going to do up to there, to where the beads start. So we need to then feed on the beads. Now I don't feed on the beads until I have done all that cord. I just prefer it that way, but you can do it whichever way you like. So I've got some seed beads and some rubies here. What I did was I split the rubies into 4. I just split them out until we've got equal amounts in 4 piles, and I use them all in actual fact. So what we need to do is, we're going to do it shorter than the one over there, but I'll show you some more in a minute. Let me just show you here again. What I quite like to do is this little cuff of beads here. To do that, you want to start every line, every cord with 2 seed beads. Then you put the rubies on, and then you finish with 2 seed beads. So that gives you that little cuff at the top and the bottom. So we just thread those on. This 0.5 does actually go through the rubies. If I can find the hole. Come on, don't mess me about. There it is. If you do have trouble, and that's the first one I've had trouble with, which is obviously the name of the game here, isn't it, when I'm trying to show you, cut a piece off and cut it at an angle. That way you can put your bead, put it through your bead quite easily. There's the hole. This is quite fiddly to start with, but you soon get into a routine. This is quite fiddly to start with, but you soon get into a routine, and you slip that through there. There we go. And you put on all your one of the piles of beads that you've separated up. And when you've got all your beads on, or your rubies on, shall I say, you then put another 2 seed beads on. So on each strand, you do 2 seed beads, as many rubies as you've chosen to do, and another 2 seed beads. Then you tie just a little loose knot in the end, like that. There we go. A little loose knot in the end, just to stop those beads from falling off. Now, in the next one, so we're going to do every alternate row. So if however many rubies that you've chosen to put on your strands, you also need that amount plus 4 extra seed beads, 2 for the bottom, 2 for the top. So I've put 2 on there. So let me see if I can show you. As I've only put 2 rubies on, I've got 2 seed beads, 2 rubies and 2 seed beads. On my necklace, I had 2 seed beads, a long row of rubies, however many you choose, and another 2 seed beads. So that's how it works. Now on the next cord, you just want seed beads. So as I've put altogether 6 beads on there, I now want to put 6. Let's bring these over so you can hopefully see what I'm doing. Put on 6 of these seed beads. 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's run away. 5 and 6. There we go. So again, you just need to do another little overhand knot, something you can get out quite easily once you've used your beads. There we go. And they will fall. So when you pick up your board, you will find that your beads fall to the bottom like that. So I'm going to move on now. I'll put that on one side because I've got one I've started over here. It's one, I've only done a short amount of it, but this is to show you how it works. So I've done a piece of cord. There's my cuff of seed beads. And then I've started adding the rubies. But the reason I've got silver beads going through it is because on every other cord, we've got only seed beads. So if you remember, we put seed beads, rubies, seed beads on one. On the adjacent one, we put all seed beads. And you do that on every other one. So we go rubies, seed beads, and so on all 8 cords. And then you end up with a little row of beads on the end of each cord. Now I've used a lot of mine, and so I can show you what I'll do. So first of all, I'm going to try and find out where I finished, and that's easy enough because I went top left, and you can see that was the last one to go over the cords, and top right down, and you can see that there. So now I need to do a turn, a quarter turn like that. Now what we do, well, I hold these beads, by the way. Now what we do is we drop in one of the beads off the strand, but we make sure that it sits underneath that cord that's going across. So we go top left. Where are we? Right, there we go. It's a little bit more awkward because I'm showing how to do it trying to stay in the camera, but there we go. So we'll drop one ruby down, make sure it tucks underneath, and bottom right. Turn round, do the same again, bottom left, drop the ruby down like that, tuck it under. I've dropped a silver one down as well. Pop that back, tuck that one underneath, top left, top right. We'll drop down a seed bead on this one. So you'll probably see it better now how we need to use it. So we drop down our seed bead, and the beads have to sit really underneath these 2 cross cords here. So we tuck that under like that. Move my finger in a sec so you can see it. Tuck my bead under there and start again. Nope, bottom left. Drop the bead down. There we go. Pop it underneath. top left, top right, bring it down, and this is what's going to make the cuff now. I want one of those. There we go. So this is what's going to make the little silver cuff, which I think really, really finishes it off nicely. So we've got bottom left again. And we'll get to the stage where we only have silver beads to come up. I've got an extra ruby on that one that I don't need. So tuck it up underneath, top left, top right, down to bottom right. We need to drop a silver bead down. There we go, like that. Quarter turn, bottom left, get to the bottom. I didn't want to, I've only left a few beads on here because obviously you don't want to sit here and watch me do inches and inches of the same thing. So top right, drop down the seed bead. There we go. Pop it underneath. There we go. Bottom right. Bottom left. Drop down the bead. Make sure it stays in the middle. Top right, down the seed bead. And you know, I'm going to pretend you carry on until you've used all the beads off the bottom of your cords. But you've seen what I do there. So what I'm going to do, let me pop that back where it should be. So where did we go? Yeah, so quarter turn. So once you've got all your beads on, you then need to go back and start doing the braiding without the stones, without the lovely rubies and the seed beads. So bottom left, top right, bottom right, and you'll see how quick you get once you've done it for a little while. Top left, top right, down to bottom right, and you carry on doing this, and this will then trap your beads. But I'll do a few because I want to show you how I finish it off. So I'll just do a few without the beads so that I can show you. There we go. Bottom left, top right. Oops, forgotten to hang on to my beads in the centre. There we go. This is a bit more used. This jewellery maker Kumihimo disc is a bit more used, so I'm able to hold the beads in the centre, and I can still place the cords in the hole. They're not so tight now as they were when it was new. So there we go. Bottom left, top right, bottom right. I'll just do a few rounds just so that I can show you, otherwise it's not going to sit properly. So I hope you enjoy this. This is something you can take on your holidays if you're going on an aeroplane. I mean, you only want cord, beads, and a bit of cord, and you can finish the ends off when you get to your destination, and get your scissors out of your bag then, if they won't allow you to take the scissors on. And it's also, don't you think, a lovely project? We've got half term coming up. Lovely project for the children to have a play with, because it's light. They can't hurt themselves with this. All it is cord and foam, I think these are. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, first of all, untangle all this lot. See what we can do here. There we go. Don't knot up on me. This is the thing, if you use bobbins, you probably won't, but I couldn't use bobbins because I've got a table underneath me. So we've got those actually out out of a tangle now. So let me put those there out of the way. What I do to finish off is I take not the two I've been using, so that's where I just done my top left, and this is where I've just done my bottom right, because you can see, so it's the underneath cords. Now I'm going to take that cord and the opposite cord on a diagonal, and I'm going to tie a knot in that, like that. Just a tight, nice tight knot. Then I'm going to take the other two, and I'm going to do the same with those. Just make sure these ones don't come undone. That's it. Then we're going to tie a knot in those, like that. Get these out of the way. Okay, so now we're left with the two top, two bottom. So again, we take bottom right, top left. So use the diagonals, tie a knot, and you're left with just two. So you take your last two, which are the two in the board, tie those, whoops, tie those like that, and you will be left with, you can take that board away now, but you will be left with a longer, I've just got a little stump there, but you'll be left with a longer piece similar to that. So as you can see, it grows really, really quickly. It's very relaxing. So let's bring in the finished necklace now, because actually, I'll show you this. Where I've tied all those knots, I would now cut those off, and then I would heat those up with a lighter and just finish them off. Some people don't like doing that. You can use glue, but with mine, I trimmed mine off, used a lighter, just burn the ends, and it makes a nice solid end to your Kumihimo. And then what I did was, if I can bring this necklace back in, as you see, I mean, it's so pretty. I mean, it's well worth the effort, and it's not a lot of effort. Put a good film on, sit and relax, enjoy it. And then what I've done is I have literally glued on 2 end caps, and that's how I made that completed necklace. So I hope you found that useful. Let's move that up a bit so you can see it. Hope you found that useful, and I'll see you soon. Bye.